Okay, what I've got here is a padlock. It's a master padlock. Has it got number 3 master padlock with a longer shackle. Got this from the car boot at weekend. It was 20p, no key with it. So what I'm going to do, master padlocks are normally straightforward to impression, so hopefully I won't look too stupid. But I'm going to try and impression this master padlock. Get a 3-dog chain with it. Oh, I can't believe that that's some sort of security chain. So I'll chuck that in the vise. See how we go. Now I'm going to try and show you some of the markings and stuff. If we get lucky, you'll be able to pick them up on the camera. Using the Phantom grip. I've got an M1 master blank brass, which fits in there. I've used a rubbing block just to smooth the blank down on top before I start, and I'm using a Swiss pippin bar. So as I'm putting the key in here, obviously moving it from left to right, up and down, I tend to, on the first time that I do this, each time on any lock, I tend to give it a little bit more than I do throughout the rest of the time I'm trying to impression the lock. The reason for that is I want to make sure I get those first marks nice and clear. So if you get them first marks nice and clear, it means each time you use the file you're going to create a nice smooth surface for when you come to impression the lock later on. Just try and zoom in there and see if you can see that. Camera's not letting me go quite as much as I'd like. As you can see there on the key, see it look like a little full stop. 4 little black dots across the top. There are impression marks, which is just what I wanted to see. So I'm going to zoom back out now. I'm not going to keep zooming in and out because you get seasick, and it was just so you could actually see those starting marks and what they look like. I've worked out that for myself, when I do the impressioning, 3 strokes of the file is roughly each depth on a key. Obviously different keys have different depths and what have you, but when it comes to most of them, if I do 3 strokes, it tends to be fairly accurate to the next depth, which is where you want to be. Obviously if you're brand new to impressioning, only file away the marks that you can definitely see. You can see a mark on all 4 of them. Just zoom in again on this one while they're fairly clear for you. And as you can see there, there's a mark on each one of them again. Right, so I'm going to crack on now and impression this. So basically now all I'm doing is repeating that formula. If you're new to this, as I say, only file away the dot that you see. If there's one and you're not sure, is that a dot, isn't that a dot, unless you're 100% sure it is a marking, an impression that's been left on the key, don't touch it, just leave it. Again, I've got 1 on each again, so we'll take them off. So this time I can only see a marking on number 1 and number 4. So they're the only ones we're going to do. There is a possible one on number 3, but we're going to leave that until that becomes a definite. So looking now, number 1's a definite, number 2 Number 4. Oh, it's gone already. Not surprised it's a master padlock. As I said in the beginning, they're normally straightforward to impression. You can hear just a very slight click in there. That tells me it's not a perfect key. I'm probably nearly there, but just a tiny bit of filing. What I tend to find, if you just turn the key from left to right with a bit of luck, yep, I'll zoom in to show you this, and hopefully you'll be able to pick this up. And if you look at the first 2 nearest the shoulder and the very end one, you can see it's hard to see what I see. They just look like the same markings from before, but close up they actually look as if you've put a small centre punch on there and just tapped it into the key. Very tiny little craters, which are the end marks. So 1, 2 and 4 all need a little bit of filing. I'm just going to pan that down in case that can show it any better to you. Can you just see that there on the first one? More of a crater than just a mark. So we're going to take that off. There you go, there's not the, oh wait, no clicking there now. Very slight little bit of clicking, almost nothing. But we've got a nice working key now. It's not actually giving me any more marks as I'm looking at it. Maybe a tiny little mark just there actually. Let's try that now. Oh, that's it, done. There was a tiny mark, it didn't look like an M mark, I wasn't sure, but there you go. It's the master padlock impression.